Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to the channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about what's on my wish list for the spring season. And I'm going to talk about all the things that are in the beauty category as well as fashion and then some miscellaneous pieces. So the point of this video is to do a couple of things. I am in a very shoppy, spendy mood. Not so much for makeup. I feel like I have my makeup consumption really under control and I'm very proud of that. But I want to go out and buy a lot of fashion pieces. That's just not in the cards. One, because I'm on a no buy. Two, because it's just not financially viable. Three, well, some of these purchases might actually be great items. Because I'm in a spending mood, I can really feel as though I would be buying things because I want to shop. That's not how I want to spend my money. And if I do end up buying some of these things, even eventually, I want it to be under the right circumstance. So I'm hoping in this video to talk myself out of buying the things on my wish list and really tease out what is a necessity for this season, what can I live without, what can I maybe push off to summer or even fall if I can. And so I really want to hold myself accountable, and hopefully sharing my thought process and how I'm thinking about things can help you do the same. If you have a wish list for spring, you're putting together your spring makeup bag or your spring capsule wardrobe, or you're just shopping and you need someone to talk you out of some things, I hope this video helps. So if you are in a shoppy, spendy mood, you're having a hard time with your no buy or your budget, leave your struggle, what you're trying to not buy, leave that all in the comments down below. And hopefully this can be a place of support for you too. So let's get into it. And I'm gonna share pictures on the screen where they're applicable. I don't really want to tempt anybody to buy anything, so some things I probably won't, but for some things, if I have something in mind and it's appropriate, I'll share. Let's talk about the beauty category, and this only has two items in it. The first is a blush brush, very hard to say, and then the second is some Paula's Choice skincare. So I want to start there first. I put that on my wish list about 3 weeks ago because I noticed I was getting low on some products, but getting low does not actually mean that I'm empty, and I know that skincare runs out much slower than I usually anticipate. And I don't think out of all three of them, let's say I run out of my moisturizer like right now, there is something I could use for a couple of days until I found something else. I'm getting to the point where that's kind of becoming questionable because I'm almost finished with a couple of things. And so I will need to buy a backup of a moisturizer and a sunscreen eventually. But those things, when I went to go check, are not as empty as I thought that they were. The one thing that is getting close, which I think I should finish within the next 20 days, would be my AHA or BHA exfoliating solution, which I really like. And if that's the case, if that's the only thing that's empty, I'm not gonna just buy that. I'm gonna wait until I have something so I can honestly get the minimum spend. And there are other replacements that I would buy from Paula's Choice. So I'm thinking that I won't need to buy it for spring. Watch this stuff, last until July. This is what often happens. So I'm gonna say not for spring. We will revisit in the summertime when I do my summer wish list. But I think the main things that are going to be empty would be the BHA exfoliating solution, and then the my nighttime moisturizer, as well as my sunscreen, like my daily moisturizer sunscreen. I'm fairly certain I will want to repurchase the sunscreen. I'm also almost done with the cleanser. That one I don't think will last even 30 days. I think that one is more like a week. But I'm not going to repurchase that from Paula's Choice. So I think this is a we'll revisit in a couple of months and I don't need to buy it now. So that is officially off the list. And I think for this one, I was really just looking for something to buy. And it's like, well, skincare is almost empty. That's something that you need. So no, we're going to say no. For the blush brush, this has been on my list for about 2 years. And okay, 2 years is a bit of an exaggeration. I would say maybe a year. Over a year, but around the year mark. And that is because I have one singular brush for powders and then one for creams. I really do believe you need different brushes for both, but I tend to use powders more. And so I guess that the problem that arises here is that if I'm using multiple blushes, like right now, I think I have 2 powder blushes in my makeup bag, but even if I wipe off the brush, the blushes are different. One is a shimmer, one is a matte, or maybe not shimmer, satiny. And even when I wipe off the brush, I do notice that when I put on the matte blush, that there's still sometimes this satiny feeling and the colors are looking really similar, even though at least one of the shimmers, in my Hourglass palette is very different from the Pat McGrath. Those are the 2 I'm talking about. And I do notice this all the time. And one of the things that I've noticed, especially when I have blushes that are very different colors, the colors tend to blur together because I just have one brush. I'm kind of thinking a second one would be appropriate, and I've come like this close to buying blush brushes several times in the past, including at one of the Sephora VIP sales. I think I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna get it from the drugstore. I think that's just gonna be the play, probably around $10. I'm thinking this one, I think this one's gonna be a yes. So those are the only beauty purchases that have been on my mind, and I did go through to see if I might be finishing anything else. The only other thing might be a mascara, but I don't think I'm going to finish it this spring. I think that one might be like a summer finish. Let's go on to fashion. And this is, as I said, where I'm struggling. So let me talk about the first purchase that I already saw coming and I've already talked about, which is pajamas. I'm going to need some spring summer pajamas. Just the nature of my living situation, it's always going to be cold and I'm never going to have like sweltering evenings, which is a blessing, really. So I don't need shorts, like a short pajama set. A long sleeve pajama set is going to be what's going to get me through spring into summer. I have one that will work, but a second one is kind of a must to get through a week. So I do have one in mind. I'm going to show it to you on the screen. I think it's so beautiful. I have been looking for some, but I have like a very specific taste, like what I really want in a pajama set. I haven't seen a lot. I'm going to keep my eye out for another couple of weeks in case one of my favorite brands puts out something. But this one is like kind of the only option. I haven't seen anything else that I've even been remotely interested in. If you have a favorite pajama brand, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. I love a good pajama set. I did actually, the first place I went to was Boden. And guys, if you remember my December like wish list video, I talked about this pajama set and said, you know what, it's not for now, I'll leave it for later. It's not available anymore. That whole range has, I don't think it's been discontinued. I just think it's like done for this season and they're all gone. They are all gone. And I was so sad. I'm gonna wait a little bit to see if there's a release on here. I don't think that, or I think I'm gonna wait until maybe April 1st or a little bit after that to make the purchase. And if the one that I'm interested in goes on sale, I'll probably get that one. I do really like this one. My only potential holdback is that it's kind of a bold print and I'm worried that I might get sick of it over a couple of years. So I think something more neutral might be potentially better. But I do really love this print. So I'm going to keep my eye out for other things that might be out there. I do love a stripe. Like one of those blue and white stripe ones would be great. They have another color. I think it's a pink base with some flowers. It's just really light, and I don't think I want to go that route. So these are the pajamas I'm gonna get for now, and they are like full price $70, which is not bad for a pajama set, but I'm gonna keep my eye out on the market just a little bit longer. But part of me, okay, so the main reason I would say I'm gonna wait on these is to see if they go on sale. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, if you're gonna wait for other things, does that mean you don't want this one? And I do like it. I'm just not 100% sold. I'm like 85 to 90% of the way there. The only holdback is that neutral color that I think might be a little bit better. But if not, I think I could be happy with these long term, like 3-4 years. Now, let's get into some of the more things that are kind of sucking me in. The first is this belt bag. So it's $80. I'm going to put it on the screen. This is just so perfect for me. Like, I'm drooling over it, and I think it would be so perfect for my lifestyle. And I have been thinking about getting a second belt bag because the one that I have now, which is a favorite, by the way, like it's still very much a favorite. This one has become what I wear to the gym, and it's also very casual, which is why I bought it. And I think one that is a little bit more elevated would be just a great addition to my wardrobe. Like, there is nothing negative I could say about this. I think the price is fair. I think the style is good, and the bag is on the casual side because it's a belt bag, but it looks a little bit more refined and elevated. And so Spendy Shauna wants to buy this, but I don't need it. And even that was hard. Like, that wasn't enough to talk me out of it. But okay, here's what I'm gonna say. I have other purses. I do have other bags I can use that I do like, that I do love, and that I enjoy wearing. And I have been leaning on the belt bag pretty hard simply because my stuff is just in it and it's just really easy to throw on. A purse isn't really any more difficult. It actually is a little bit more refined, really, because it's a bag and not like, you know, a casual belt bag situation. So I have other things I can use that are just as nice. Like, I'm looking at my bags right now. I have a black camera bag, which is really nice. I even have some lighter like bag options that are kind of like honey or brown colored, which I think is more fitting for spring than black. So as hard as it is, I'm gonna say no to the belt bag, and I'm saying it publicly because if anybody sees the belt bag on this channel and I have not given a valid reason, and I don't think there is one, then somebody needs to come for me. And so I'm saying publicly, I'm not buying the belt bag. I'm just not, because I have other things I can use instead. I don't need it. My life is not going to be improved by having it. I'm not going to be any happier by having it. I actually think no matter how much I want it now, okay, guys, like, this is a real exercise in self-control. I have never regretted not buying anything, so I will not regret not buying this. That's what I'm telling myself. And number two, I will likely forget about this in just a month. In 30 days, I think I'm gonna forget about it. Okay, we're saying no. Moving on. The next thing are t-shirts. 3 of my staple t-shirts I bought the same time. They're just, and I've also talked about the white t-shirt. I have 2 white t-shirts. One will never see the light of day and is like it just is what it is. The other one is like a nicer white t-shirt. So I was able to reduce the white, like the yellowing under the arms for that one. And I think we're definitely good for spring. I'm gonna see if I can do an even better job next time I wash it. So that one is okay for now. The ones that I was thinking of replacing, these ones are my staple. They're ones I got from Aerie in 2019, I think. I think 2019. There's a chance it could have been 2018, but I don't know. Either way, these are my most worn shirts over, like, there's hundreds of wears on each one of them individually. They are, the gray one in particular is getting like nasty under the arms, and I think they need to be replaced this year. So they were on the list because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to put them on, like I'm gonna have to be on the lookout for replacement shirts. And I was looking here and there, and there's a couple that I do have my eye on to replace them with. And I was thinking, well, I don't think I'm gonna have enough t-shirts to get me through the week, because right now I don't have enough t-shirts to get me through the week. However, winter is just a finicky thing. And in winter, I'm really just looking for the extra layer of warmth. And so I'm going to some of my longer sleeves to do that. Come spring, it's not actually warm until May. Like, I don't think that I would actively rely on t-shirts until about May. The t-shirts aren't urgent for right now, because when it comes to spring, I can also rely on my lightweight long sleeve shirts that I haven't, and I can wear them more with my cardigans. In winter, I've learned that I get too cold to wear those pieces regularly, or even just alone. So I can rely on those more, and that opens up at least 5 new shirt options, so I can rely less on the t-shirts. I don't even know if I'll need them for summer, because in summer I can introduce, or even at least late spring, introduce some of my summer t-shirts, like some of my favorite striped t-shirts. That's at least 3. And then I also can introduce my tank tops and some of my like nicer frillier t-shirts when I know that I won't need sweaters as often. So t-shirts might just be a fall thing, and I can comfortably put them on the back burner for now. All right, let's talk about headbands next. I am a headband fanatic, and that's a relatively new phenomenon, like in the last 8 months, but it's one that I have a track record in wearing, and it has been consistent since at least September. I think it's a little bit older than that, but I have been consistent at least in September, and you see them on the channel all the time as well. I don't wear them that much outside of the house in winter, simply because you gotta wear the hat. But since we're coming into spring, I'm gonna get to wear them again. And a couple of the picks that I had were like actually meant for winter. One of them is like a winter plaid color. And I found some beautiful ones on Etsy. There's too many options, and I'm drooling over so many. And so even if I put a $40 budget on these, that could probably get me about 2, which would be great, because I can still wear at least 2. I can wear 2 of the ones I currently have, like my main chunky knotted ones. I'm wearing one today. I don't know if I've worn all that often on the channel. Kind of adding to my little preppy vibe I have going on. So 2 would be great. And headbands, in my opinion, go such a long way in adding or in supporting my style and giving me a flair for my style and making me feel more myself. Headbands are one of the things that help me do that, and hopefully I can wear them more in spring and summer. This one, I want to say no. Like, I really want to say no, because I don't want to buy anything, but at the same time, something like a headband, if I think it's 3 main ones that I can wear, getting 1 or 2 more adds so much versatility. And I don't have anything specifically spring or summer. I have like a pink one that, does feel like it's a little bit more spring, summer. And I have a plaid one that works all year round. Those would be the 2 main ones. So I think that a headband, especially one that's like for spring and summer, just goes a long way. And I don't feel that I have excess. And so I think the most torn on this one. I can say no to the belt bag. I can say no to the t-shirts. I can say no to a lot of things. But the headband, I'm going to really have to sit on these. I'm sure you have seen them on the screen now. I was thinking a $40 budget. It's not going to break the bank, and it's something that I can afford, and it's not something that would inflate the number of things that I own. So this one, let me know your thoughts in the comments. The last thing in the fashion category is a trench coat. I did talk about this as well, and I have actively been looking for one. And that was before I was really thinking about my spring capsule, my spring budget in particular. And I can say so far I'm having a difficult time finding one that would fit my size, I guess more so like my height. I've seen a couple, but they come down to the knees on the model. And if the model, I think most models are what, over 5'8", if not taller. But let's even say that this woman is shortest 5'6". She still has 4 inches on me, and my knees is already too long. So I'm having a hard time finding a shorter trench coat. So even though I've been on the lookout for one, I have not really found one yet, but it's also kind of early in the season. Well, the season hasn't really begun. So I guess for this one, even if I want to, and even if the desire is there, I don't know if it will appear for me, like if it will happen for me. The thing about the trench coat for me, and as I was talking about it since the last time I mentioned it, I have been living with the same iteration of coats for about 5 years. I have replaced some of them, like one was they've all been 1-for-1 replacements. A jacket has broken or it doesn't fit, like it's too small, and I've, gained some weight. And so I've owned like the same 5 all year long jackets for about 5 years, and even as I've made replacements, they have been 100% practical and replacing things with something that is very similar, if not like the closest thing I could have. What I've noticed is that my spring jackets are 2 options, a utility jacket and then a longer, puffier jacket that kind of goes down to about the knee. Both of those are very casual jackets, very casual and very practical, and there's nothing that makes me feel elevated or something that is, I would say elevated is the right word. That can help me elevate even a t-shirt and jeans to something that's a little bit more special, that's a little bit more elevated, I guess I'll use. And so it feels like a true gap in my wardrobe. Like it really feels like a true gap. And so this also feels practical. And so I think there's 2 real choices for this season. The trench coat and the headbands. Can I get them both? I don't know, especially like if I also have to buy pajamas and I want to keep the budget low. The pajamas with tax are probably going to be around $85. If I get the blush brush, let's call those 2 things $100. I think it would be tough to find a trench coat under $100, and then $40 for a headband. That's fairly affordable. So maybe I have something up my sleeve potentially for the trench coat. I don't want to say it yet because I don't want to make any promises, because I know that I've done that and I backed myself into corners and not been able to deliver on things that I said that I would. So I have some ideas about this. Let's say, okay, so here's me trying to be practical. Let's say I could buy one of the things. I could buy 2 of the headbands, or I could buy a trench coat. What would I pick? I think the choice has to be the trench coat. Let's say that I get the trench coat now. The headbands can be a for later purchase, where I could purchase them in the summer, maybe in June, like in preparation for like my summer capsule. So those don't have to be a not now, those don't have to be a no. Those can just be a not now and get some for the summer. Yes, that means I wouldn't have any new ones for the spring, and that would be sad, but it doesn't mean that I can't get them, and I think that's the practical option. The thing I want the most are the headbands. They're so beautiful, and I think that they would be more exciting than the trench coat, but I think the trench coat would do a bigger job, could be around for longer. Like if I find a good one, I can have it for years. Like I owned my jean jacket for 10 years. I owned my last green jacket for, I think it was 5, and it was still fine and in good condition, and I would not have gotten rid of it had it not been too small. So if I find a good one, I think it's safe to at least expect 5 years out of it. Whereas a headband, I don't know. I don't know if I could get that longevity out of it. So the trench coat makes the most sense. The very last category is what I'm calling miscellaneous, and there's two big things on here. The first is an art piece. I mentioned this briefly in my last no buy contentment update. This is a paint by numbers piece, and it is, I think it's $33 plus tax, like $35, $36 roughly that it would be. So it would come in under 40. And I think it's so beautiful, and I've been looking at this thing for about 4 to 6 weeks now, and I think it was, one, it's a fun activity that I can do, and then two, I can hang it and it can be an art piece in my house. I think it's very cool. This one I hope to buy eventually. I just don't know when. March was is kind of an expensive month, just because of some of the things that broke in my house or just weren't here. And I was saying, well, let's wait till the next month. And now we're here. I'm going to have to think about this some more. Not in the sense of, do I want it? Yes, I still want it. But is it the most practical purchase as of late? No, it's not. I think this one might have to be a no for now. And might be, well, I guess since we're talking about spring and not just this month, maybe I could get this later in spring, like let's say later April or even early May. I think that could be a possibility. That's not an answer. I'm so hesitant on saying yes or no. Editing Shauna, please give the final word here. I think I needed just a little bit more time to think about that one. And then the last thing are books. As I've said, I've been in a spendy mood and I just want to buy things, and I'm just like, I want to buy some books. Not because I need books or even because I have any in mind. I just want to buy some so I can buy some. Like there's something that I like and I know I'm in the mood to shop. Books are a way to do that, or they're a thing that I'm interested in. There's no real reason to buy a book right now. Like there's not even anything that I have in mind that, let's say, I can't get at my library, you know? So here's the plan. I'm not going to buy any books this spring. We're not going to do it. And I'm going to actually go into my physical library and I'm going to shop around like I would at a shopping mall or a bookstore. And I'm going to check out as many books as I like and whatever catches my eye. If it's a title read, doesn't matter. And I'm wondering if that's going to help with my spending mood as well. I do like ebooks, but I have really been missing holding a physical book. I've been missing that a lot actually. So I'm hoping that by going to the library and checking out books, I'll get to hold the physical books, get that experience, and then also get to, in essence, shop my little heart out. So here is what I've come down to in this video. The trench coat is going to be the main purchase of the season if I can swing it, if I can find one that fits. If not, it's not going to be a summer purchase, so maybe one for fall. My guess is if I don't do it in spring, I'm not sure that I will do it in fall. We'll see. So I think that one is going to be the one that's on the radar. It's like the big purchase of the moment. Pajamas as well as the blush brush. I think those three things are going to be the purchases that I've decided on for this season. If Editing Shauna has any more thoughts, she'll let you know. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What are you thinking about buying for spring? And more importantly, or most importantly, if you are struggling with wanting to buy stuff, leave that in the comments down below, and hopefully we can help each other out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.